and welcome. When will your Amazon package arrive? Will your government check appear larger in the rearview mirror? And is grandma's life really more valuable than Coca-Cola? Maybe tonight. Your best option for late night comedy news until Samantha Bee learns how to operate Zoom. Right, she did? And it's in HD? Ah, fuck. Well, I guess we'll do this anyways. Maybe tonight, bringing you a lighter take on our dark world whenever we're not too depressed, tired, or dead. So, maybe tonight. Now, before we get into our top story, there are actually some happy side effects from coronavirus.
At the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, penguins were allowed on a rare field trip to check out the other side of their glass exhibit. It's nice to know that somebody's getting a benefit of all of us being asked to stay home.
Yeah, so it turns out that although this month has been horrible for humans, it's been a march for the penguins. And it's not just them. In Atlanta, puppies from the local Humane Society got to roam the aquarium that was left empty due to coronavirus. Can I say, though, on behalf of the puppies, please, next time, no aquarium. Do you know how hard it is to potty train yourself at only 8 weeks old? Let alone when there's a shark swimming towards you? And you're a dog, so you don't understand what plexiglass is. Next time, Park. Park has ball. Park has a guy named Ray that can throw the ball. Not a stingray, a throwing ray. Much better. And way less chance of... Wait, no, sorry, still peed on the carpet. Anyways, moving on to our top story. The Bush tax cuts. Just kidding, of course it's coronavirus. You know, coronavirus. The only thing spreading faster than your uncle's rants on Facebook about how coronavirus is actually a liberal hoax. And at this point, coronavirus is growing so fast that when we started writing this episode on Saturday, there was a little over 600,000 confirmed cases. But when we're shooting this episode on Monday, that number has ballooned to over 780,000. And by the time that you're actually watching this, there's so many cases that even Thanos is worried about how many people might die. Yeah, it turns out that's actually why he went to that hut in the middle of nowhere. It was a social isolation. Now, these numbers are likely rising so fast because the US is finally getting around to testing those who are already sick. And that's helped it take the #1 spot in infections worldwide. So it turns out that when the Trump campaign promised that we would win so much that we would get sick of winning, that was actually 100% true. Thanks to President Trump working less than your Windows computer after an update, we're both winning and sick. And many areas are still likely even sicker than we know, because we still have less testing than we need. Like in Houston, Texas, where despite their COVID-19 cases tripling, the federal government told the city that it would only send enough personal protective gear to conduct 250 tests a day. Which, as you may have guessed, for a city of almost 7 million, is just not enough tests. At 250 tests a day, it would take them over 75 years to be able to test everyone in the city. So by the time Houston could test everyone, the first person that they tested would have probably already died from natural causes. Yeah, and the second person they tested would have almost had time to finish watching The Irishman. 17 days at home, and I still have not had a chance to finish that. Now, if you're saying, that it's not realistic for us to have had enough tests this quickly, when the news of coronavirus first got out, Ulfert Land, a 54-year-old German man, managed to mass manufacture a test that was good enough that it was not only adopted by the World Health Organization, but they managed to ship 1.4 million tests by the end of February. And that was back when the US only had 4,000 tests completed. The US is getting beat by an almost boomer with a ponytail. And the only time you should be losing to a 54-year-old man with a ponytail, it's when you let him win, because he's your mom's new boyfriend, and you're trying to be nice because, she's nervous about going back into the dating pool after being married to your dad for 23 years. But when it comes to coronavirus testing, the US being more than a month behind a guy whose name I keep confusing with that snowman from Frozen, it's more than unacceptable. Now, even without formal testing, doctors are figuring out new ways to identify potential coronavirus carriers.
Ear, nose, and throat doctors worldwide are reporting that some coronavirus patients are experiencing the sudden loss of smell and taste.
I think given the current timing, that if you're an otherwise healthy person and you notice you've lost sense of smell, you probably have the virus.
Loss of smell or loss of taste has been possibly linked as a symptom of COVID-19. So, if you listen to Donald Glover's new album and you don't like it, congratulations. You may have COVID-19. Okay, now I was told that joke is funny. I don't personally know. I haven't listened to the new album because I like to live in what I call Schrodinger's Gambino. Yeah, maybe I have coronavirus, maybe I don't. Either way, I should probably stop keeping dead cats in a box. Now, studies are still working to confirm if anosmia is an actual symptom. But personally, I'm not taking any chances. I just bought a bunch of dollar store cologne and I am dousing myself in it as a protective measure. Yeah, because then I'll smell so bad no one will even want to get within 6 feet of me. And if they do, because it doesn't bother them, then they probably got the Rona. And while I may be hoarding all of the cheap cologne, other hoarders are quickly finding out that maybe they went too big too fast. Like this couple who panicked and cleaned out their local grocery store's meat section and are now getting death threats after the video went viral. And yeah, what they did was at worst a stupid move and at best a dick move. I mean, even your friends that won't shut about being on keto don't need that much meat. But there is no reason that people should have been sending them death threats. Especially since even if this was the real apocalypse that had hit, we all have plenty of other sources of meat. And speaking of money, when you return, soon everyone in the US is gonna be getting paid. Okay, now normally we would have a sponsor message right here, but in this case, for today, for this episode, we need to inform you that this episode is definitely not brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We've been specifically asked to make sure Chick-fil-A is not associated with our show or our brand in any way. I mean, sure, Chick-fil-A has sandwiches that one of our staff members loves, despite my insistence that them using pickles on a sandwich is atrocious since pickles are horrible and ruin everything they touch, and I'm pretty sure they touched my parents' marriage. But despite Jessica liking them, since our studio is just a huge fan of pictures of gay people kissing, just so much. Like I actually have one needle pointed onto a pillow. Because of that, we've been asked to make sure you know that Chick-fil-A does not support us. So this is us specifically telling you that we are definitely 100% not supported by Chick-fil-A. So please, when you think maybe tonight, or even when you think of two women kissing, do not think Chick-fil-A. Moving on. After days of back and forth, the US Senate approved a $2 trillion stimulus package. Now, for a grasp of how much $2 trillion is, that is enough that you could reshoot the last season of Game of Thrones over 20,000 times, or that you could buy almost 2 face masks on Amazon. And the bill passed the Senate in almost unprecedented 96-0, providing not only additional money for healthcare providers, but also direct cash payments of $1,200 per US adult citizen. And although a lot of Republican lawmakers are taking credit for these ideas, they're ones that we seem to have seen before at the Democratic primary just a couple months ago. Things that they were calling horrible, like government-provided basic income, health care for everyone, every Democratic platform, even let's all stay at home and not talk to each other because I have anxiety, has been quickly adopted by the Republican Senate due to this emergency. But unfortunately, some Republicans further down the line would literally rather die than see the change.
No one reached out to me and said, as a senior citizen, are you willing to take a chance on your survival in exchange for keeping the America that all America loves for your children and grandchildren? And if that's the exchange, I'm all in.
Yeah, that's the lieutenant governor of the US's second most populous state, saying that he'd rather let old people choose to possibly die than hurt the economy. And with up to 1 in 7 old people dying from corona, that could be a lot of deaths. And sure, with enough bigoted old people gone, maybe we could finally pass equal rights protection laws that would make it so that my choice in needlepoint can't cost me sponsors. But before you consider taking out a life insurance policy on Nana and just letting coronavirus roam free so that you can profit, it's important to note that the deaths themselves can have their own drastically high economic costs. As one user on Reddit pointed out, some people aren't so easily replaced, like specialized medical professionals who can't just be replaced with cash and require both monetary expense and decades of training. And those are the people that are also most likely to have a high risk of getting coronavirus while treating patients. Okay, and you may have noticed that the Redditor's username is click to fart, which is sad that such a good point comes from such a stupid username. But what's even stupider is that someone that probably created their username when they were 12 years old seems to have a better grasp on the economic effects of coronavirus than the man in charge of the health and safety of 28 million people. And click to fart isn't alone. 32 prominent economists from both political parties even signed a joint letter stating that for the sake of our economy, our paramount concern at this moment should be to slow the spread of this virus. And sure, these are just professional economists like multiple members of Harvard's Council of Economic Advisors, and they probably just have boring or asshole-ish Reddit usernames like click to I went to Harvard, yes that Harvard. But despite the fact that they couldn't get into Yale, we should still probably listen to them and continue to stay the fuck home. Luckily, many people are staying home. So many, in fact, that we're starting to cause a problem.
France has asked Netflix to downgrade the resolution of their video traffic so that their video volume is taking up less capacity. And apparently Netflix has agreed to do that. And in Spain, they've actually asked internet users to use responsibly so that there is bandwidth capacity available for critical applications to go through.
That's right. Coronavirus managed to do what Kim Kardashian's ass couldn't and nearly broke the internet. In some areas, the internet has gotten so overused that... Oh, crap. Okay, sorry, see, this is what I mean. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna just try restarting your router real quick. Just hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Anyways, slow internet, you got the joke. Netflix and YouTube aren't the only ones having bandwidth problems due to people quarantine. Amazon has seen such a surge in orders that it's had to change its Prime delivery from 1 to 2 days, up to 1 month for non-essential items, and even up to a week for items that are deemed essential. Which is great for getting people the items that they need. But what some people have found is that Amazon seems to have an odd idea of what is and isn't essential. For example, this game of lawn darts was rightly deemed non-essential and had a delivery time of 3 weeks. However, this DVD copy of Steven Seagal's Belly of the Beast was deemed essential enough to have a 2-day delivery. And don't get me wrong, maybe it is. Maybe that's why it's flying off the shelves so fast that they only had 6 left in stock. But it is concerning that it had a quicker delivery time than these tampons, which are no doubt an essential item for, I'm gonna guess, I don't know, maybe up to half the population? And it wasn't just Lord Steven that Amazon seemed to have misprioritized as fast. Prime delivery as fast or faster than hygiene products was available on almost every dildo. Trust me, I looked at a lot of them for research. Everything from the magic wand that I assume Harry Potter's mom used when his dad couldn't cast Ingorgio Locomotor, to a mini version of the facehugger from Alien, to what I'm pretty sure is just a shifter from IKEA Optima. But all of them were available in the same time or less than that of true essentials like diapers, tampons, or movies with a true action hero. And sure, maybe Jeff Bezos just needs to help his mini clones travel across America quicker. And vibrators are useful since sexual health is health. But if your sex life is so bad that you need vibrators more than hygiene products, it might be time for your guy to stop watching Steven Seagal movies and to instead learn a few tips from a real master. That's our show for this week. Please make sure to follow so that you know when our next episode is. And remember, it's not all bad out there. Things can get better. Maybe even tonight.